3 coming in. Rosaria, pay attention. Row 2. And row 1. Aries, you need to be closer to Gabriel and Naja. Move a little bit closer this way. Remember, we all need to be facing forward. I have my clipboard right here. If you're not following directions, you will be dropping clips. So today we're starting a new unit. And our unit is on these. So, for the next several days, we're going to be learning about small six-legged animals called insects. So insects are the largest group of animals on the earth, and there are different types of insects that we're going to learn about. So some of the different types are separated by categories, or we can categorize them. So for example, we're going to look at the life cycles, how they may or may not be helpful, and their size, shapes, and colors. So here on this page we have an insect collage. So here we have insects of all different sizes and shapes that we're going to learn about in our domain. Does anybody recognize any of these different insects? Naja, what do you see?
I see an insect with green eyes.
What's the name for it?
A fly.
Not a fly. That one's a fly. This one's a what? Nikaya? A grasshopper. We should all know what this is. I remember in the beginning of the year, we had some in our room. What was the name for that, Gabriel? They can be black, they can be red, sometimes they might bite you. Jamie, help them out. Ant. What is it, Gabriel? An ant. Oh, we should know what that is. What is that? Aries? Caterpillar, very good. So, what we're going to be doing while we're listening to our story is finding out the different homes that the animals have all over the world. Our title of our story is called Insects Everywhere. Insects Everywhere. So listen carefully and find out why the only places on Earth where some of these insects can live. So here we have a common housefly. Hello, boys and girls. I've been invited to join you today and talk about a very important subject. Me. Who knows what type of animal I am? Raise your hand if you know what type of animal that is. Everyone, what type of animal is it?
Fly.
A fly. Right, I'm a fly. I'll bet most of you have seen lots and lots of flies, haven't you?
Yes.
I'm told that you find us flies rather annoying. So, I'm guessing that you've swatted at one of my billions of cousins at least once in your life. Here, we have different types of flies. I'm wondering just how much you really know about us. For example, did you know that I can walk straight up a wall? I'll bet you can't do that. I have thousands of tiny hairs on my feet that act like suckers. So those are the hairs that are attached to the wall and act like suction cups, allowing the fly to climb on a vertical surface. So, for example, if they're climbing up the wall, they're gonna walk like this, right on up the wall. I'm a housefly, the most common type, but there are many other types of fly species on Earth. A species is a group of plants or animals that are alike in some ways. Horseflies, robber flies, fruit flies, gnats, and mosquitoes have different species that all belong to the same group. Here we have planet Earth. Scientists group animals into different categories. What different types of animals can you name? What are some different types of animals that you can name? Rosario.
Beetles.
Like beetles. They don't have to be just insects, they can be any type.
Zebra.
Zebras,
Dolphins.
dolphins, I'll hear 3 more, Nikaya. Giraffe, Lewis,
A tiger.
a tiger, and Naja.
An elephant.
An elephant, so like mammals, maybe like vertebrates, invertebrates, things like that. So yes, fish, snakes, frogs, birds, and insects are just a few of the animal groups that we know. Flies like me belong to the largest group on Earth. Who thinks they know what the largest group is? Noah, what do you think?
Insects.
Insects. For every 10 animal species in the world, about 8 of them are insects. And scientists continue to discover more even today. Insects are small animals with 6 legs and 3 main body parts. We flies are insects, and we share the planet with millions of other insects in many different habitats. Habitats are natural homes of plants and animals. Can you name a few? What are some habitats? Tell me one, Christian.
A habitat.
So like where would a coyote live? In the desert. What about a polar bear? Where would a polar bear live? In the snow or what was another name for that? Rosaria?
North.
Not in the north, but like the tundra. Everyone say tundra.
Tundra.
What about, where would a lion live? Where would a lion live? In the, Lewis?
In the
Kinda, not really though, but like in the, not in the zoo. They might, but not specifically. Noah? Forest, it's called the grasslands, kind of in like the grasslands area. So, deserts, forests, mountains, grasslands, and tundra are some that you might have heard about. During the next few lessons, you'll learn about some of my fellow insect friends, and they're going to be teaching us about the different types of habitats that they live in. We insects live all over the globe, everywhere except the ocean. Insects can live in some very cold or very hot areas on Earth. Here we have alfalfa in bloom. We'll start by looking at a meadow grassland. Look out over this field of alfalfa. Do you see any animals in the pictures?
No.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you see any animals in that picture? I don't see any. Let's see what they say. It looks just like an ordinary grassy field, but there's much more going on. This field is teeming with life, or full of life. If you sat down in the middle of this meadow and closed your eyes, you would likely hear birds singing, but you might be completely unaware of the silent, hidden world of insects all around you. Here we have insect eggs on a leaf. Many insects depend on plants to live. Many insects eat plants, and some lay their eggs on plants. The plant on which an insect lays its egg and which provides food for its young acts as a host and is called a host plant. A host plant is a plant or animal on which or in which another thing lives. Each host plant attracts different types of insects. Many insects would die without their host plants because they had developed very specific diets needed to live. Here we have a grasshopper, a leafhopper, and aphids. Many meadow plants attract grasshoppers. Grasshoppers feed on the leaves and the stems of alfalfa plants. Harder to find is the tiny leaf hopper. And that's right there. But this wedge-shaped insect can slow down the plant's growth, turning it brown as it sucks nutrition from its host plants. Many insects, such as these tiny aphids, right there, can damage entire meadows. Grasshoppers, leafhoppers, and aphids are all pests. Farmers are never happy when they discover that they have their plants, or have them on their plants, because they can destroy their crops. But not all not all insects are pests. Here we have a ladybug, lacewing, and ambush bug. Who knows what this insect's called? The one right there.